Lawmakers and community leaders are responding to the sexual assault allegations against the late civil rights leader and labor union leader Cesar Chavez. Many events honoring him have been canceled. And California is set to rename Cesar Chavez Day, which is held every March 31st, to Farmworkers Day. They've still got to pass the legislation, but that is their plan. New Mexico Democratic Congresswoman Teresa Fernández joins us now. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being with us. You represent sort of the northeastern part of your rough square state. I know it's a very Hispanic district, Native American, a lot of working class constituents. So obviously this is a story that resonates, given the work that Chavez and the United Farm Workers did and continue to do in that part of the country. I'm curious for your reaction to what we've learned in the last few days and what to do now about how he is honored going forward.
Thank you, Ed, for having me. And yes, my district is very large. I also am proud to say that Dolores Huerta is from my district. She was born in Dawson, which was a coal mining town. So I do a lot of work with Dolores. I think what was key is that when we heard the allegations, when we heard the fact that and read and spoke with the people involved in the foundation, the family, Dolores Huerta's family, we realized that these were serious and that we weren't going to whitewash what he had done. We were going to acknowledge it and say this is not acceptable, but also recognize that this movement for farm workers' rights was not just Cesar Chavez. It was many, many different people, including Dolores Huerta. It was different farm workers' organizations across the Southwest. And so that we needed to both stand with the survivors, believe the women, believe those who have been abused, but also recognize the importance of the farm workers movement, as well as the way that movement was important for Latinos as a community and for the union work community and for workers across the country.
Yeah, and to your point about whitewashing, we have seen muralists this week literally start to whitewash him off the walls of schools and parks and libraries and community centers. I just, and to your point, we believe and we respect the accused and those that were abused and have decided to speak out. I'm struck, I don't know if you are, about how quickly the reaction has been to this and how swift the denunciation and the fact that, as you said, there's no disputing it, right? It happened. It is terrible. Changes have been made. But he is almost being written out of the story quite quickly.
Well, I think we are also in a moment in history where we are recognizing that these kinds of abuses, when you cannot abuse and discard women. I am the chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus. And so I work a lot with regards to sexual violence. I have a bill of mine that would remove the statute of limitations for cases against predators and abusers, because right now it's a 10-year statute of limitation. Chuck Schumer and I have a bill to do that, and it stems out of the Epstein survivors. So we are in a moment now where I think that the country is recognizing that this is not acceptable. And you can see the difference of we are not hiding anything. We are recognizing what's happening. And we say the right answer is to stand with the women, highlight the movement, highlight what he worked on and what he was famous for and adored for, and then distance ourselves from, as Dolores herself said, from the evil that was also in that man.
There is, of course, big work before you in Congress. Most urgently for many, of course, is the situation with the Department of Homeland Security. The Senate tried and failed again today to try to fund the department. You've seen the long lines at airports as people are trying to get processed by TSA officers who either are on the job in fewer numbers or aren't showing up on the job. How does this get resolved? What does the administration have to do to come close to the Democrats? What do Democrats need to do to come closer to the White House to reach some kind of an agreement?
I think that the demands that the Democrats are making, or that the ICE and CBP follow the same kind of requirements as all other law enforcement, and that they don't wear masks, that they don't abuse, they don't deport and terrorize citizens. They don't detain citizens. They don't break down doors without a warrant. These are things that every law enforcement agency across our country does. Now, what we were seeing is in the House, they're doubling down. I sit on the Rules Committee, and when I get
Yep.
back on Tuesday, the Republicans will be putting forth yet another DHS funding bill, which is exactly like the last DH funding bill, but they gave it a new name. And so this will be the third time that we vote on the same DHS funding bill, knowing that's not going to get past the Senate. What Democrats have done is we have a petition, a discharge petition. For those who don't know what a discharge petition is, these things that I actually also learned when I got to Congress. It is a way of forcing a vote on a bill that the speaker refuses to put on the floor. And
Right.
that bill would fund FEMA, it would fund TSA, it would fund the Coast Guard. There is no disagreement on funding those aspects. When I managed the last bill on the floor of the House, the Republicans kept getting up and saying, we have enough funding for ICE and CBP. So if they have enough funding for that, let's fund the places where there is no disagreement. And then we can work out we can negotiate what kind of
Yeah.
guardrails do we need to put on ICE. That's
And
an
yet they
easy
don't.
thing to do.
Easy to Democrats, but we'll see if Republicans ever go along with that because they keep saying no, it should be done in one big fell swoop, and the debate will obviously continue. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. Have yourself a good weekend. We'll see you back here in Washington next week. We'll see if this gets any closer to a resolution. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Ed.